Hey everybody, it's Sunday.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Turns out that damn Cronenberg movie started today. We didn't realize.
Well, it started Friday, I think. Yeah. But I want to see it, but the only showing is at 9:55 p.m.
Weird.
So
we're gonna see it tomorrow night.
Yeah, I think tomorrow night we'll go see it. So maybe tonight we'll do another movie. But yeah, so I'm not really sure. So I go in the room last night and I'm like, well, we just need to see a movie for the matinee, to talk about. Tom's like, just for some reason, completely at random. Yeah. Man, I want to see the newest Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, everybody said it was good.
Had you been talking to somebody about it or something?
No, I just saw it. I saw it mentioned on some of the programs I listened to.
Oh, okay.
They were talking about how good that one was and how good Ghostbusters Afterlife was.
Yeah, we might have to watch Ghostbusters Afterlife tonight because I kind of wanted to see it at the time, but then I heard mixed reviews and we just never got around.
Well,
to it.
It's streaming now, so you can watch it.
Yeah,
and so. Watch this one, and this is a good movie.
It is, and this is coming from somebody that is usually I like them, but like I said, but this one was actually a really good time. It was really, really fun, really entertaining. It was all kind of fun.
It was as good as Into the Spider-Verse. I liked Into the Spider-Verse because it was just so fucking crazy. This is the same kind of deal. This is like Spider-Man's greatest hits. It's got all the Spider-Man, live-action Spider-Man. It's even got all the villains. Even the original Green Goblin with, what's his name?
William Dafoe.
William Dafoe Green Goblin is in it. You got Jamie Foxx's Electro, you got the dude from the Sandman. You got, and then it has, Tobey Maguire shows up in it. You're like, well, how the fuck does this happen? Well, the new Spider-Man, what's that kid's name?
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland, yeah. That Spider-Man, his cover got blown, and it was fucking up his life because everybody found out that he was Spider-Man, and his fucking shit was collapsing. So he goes to Doctor Strange. This is quite a premise. He goes to Doctor Strange and asks him for help if he could make everybody forget who he was. So he's casting this badass spell, and he kept fucking asking for more and more during the spell cast, and they got it all fucked up. All right? And it allowed all the fucking villains of Spider-Man and all the Spider-Men from other universes come in through these dimension doors. And I was waiting for, one of the cartoon Spider-Men to show up. I wanted to see fucking...
Wouldn't that have been funny?
Yeah, I wanted Spider-Man Noir to show up and fucking Spider-Gwen.
And Spider-Ham.
And Spider-Ham made it fucking funny. Because then you have live-action characters going, wait, there's cartoons in here now? There's cartoons?
That would have been fucking
That'd be great. It'd be like something out of
Why is there a tiny spider pig in here?
Yeah. It'd be like something out of Jessica Rabbit or something, And, but none of the cartoon ones came through. Only the live-action ones came through. And then they all kind of round them up. Spider-Man and Doctor Strange round them all up, and they got them in cells. And it turns out that he's going to send them back. Doctor Strange is going to send them back to their universes. And the Spider-Man figures out, wait a minute, hold on. These guys die if you send them back. And they're like, don't send us back, we'll all die. So Spider-Man's feeling fucking soft. He's a soft-hearted character. He steals the damn magical Tesseract box thing. I'm just making up names for it. Like a Tesseract. That's what it looks like. And he steals it from fucking Doctor Strange. Says, no, send him back. I'm going to try to cure them and change their fates and their destinies.
Using Iron Man technology.
And I'm going, oh man, he's going to fuck this shit up. And had some really good scenes where he's fighting fucking Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange is making mirror universes and just ripping holes through reality and changing and flipping shit. It makes you want to see the Doctor Strange ones then, because I was starting to fucking have I was starting to fucking like that character. You know what I mean? Fucking kind of have like a man crush on this character. That was a handsome motherfucker sitting there fucking doing all that shit.
Benedict Cumberbatch is a handsome motherfucker.
Yeah, and he's saying some shit, and I go, that's a good looking guy there, man. And Jenny's go, yeah, he's fucking hot. I said, I didn't notice.
Who doesn't love Benedict Cumberbatch?
He's doing his shit. Matter of fact, this Spider-Man, they make sure they're doing some gratuitous nudity with this boy. Fucking had him sitting there, them girls were undressing him in the very beginning, his girlfriend, or MJ. And he's fucking looking good, man. He's on a cycle. He's on that Winstrol, gotta be. But if any of you young guys are having trouble fucking getting you a girlfriend, go check out that dude right there and says, that's what you should look like. You look like that, you're gonna get some girls. Just hit that gym. Dude, make sure that blood chemistry is correct. If you can read between the lines, and fucking in a matter of a few years, you'll look like that. You'll be able to get a date. Anyway, so Spider-Man fucking steals the Tesseract. They get in a fight over it. And then he goes on this big quest to try to heal all these and cure all these villains. And turns out he eventually gets it done, man. I was impressed. I was like, all right. The fucking lot of good characters in it. It was fun. Weren't any really slow spots in it. He has a good relationship with all the other Spider-Men. Which that was my.
I think that was like the stuff with Doctor Strange and the stuff with the 3 Spider-Men, working, those were probably my favorite parts. Yeah,
it's all kinds of cool shit.
Because it was so cool to see Tobey Maguire back, and then Andrew Garfield, who played. I didn't see the Andrew Garfield movies because they didn't actually. They were supposed to make a trilogy, but they only made 2.
Yeah.
It was the Amazing Spider-Man from 2012, and then they did. Yeah. Amazing Spider-Man 2, and that was 2014, and then they were supposed to make a 3rd one, but they never made it. But that's where he came from. Yeah. So I didn't see those. So I was just kind of like, well, that guy must be in the other Spider-Man movies that I didn't see. Yeah. But I know who Tobey Maguire was.
Yep. And now, 2 of the things that stuck out besides Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, man, was fucking Electro. Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx. He fucking knocked it out of the park. That was a good
good
character.
In this too.
And I didn't see the movie that he came from, so I gotta find that movie. It's the first time I saw that character. And then William Dafoe. Man.
I love William Dafoe. He's so awesome.
William Dafoe was fucking blowing me away. First of all, that's an old man, and he was looking fucking good.
Well, now, I think they did do some de-aging
shit on him.
So he would look more like he did
before.
because I think they did that to Alfred Molina too, the guy that plays Doc Ock.
Yeah, okay.
Because they wanted him, because the whole premise of the movie,
Dr. Octopus in it.
The whole premise of the movie is that they came there before Spider-Man killed them, in the old movies, so they have to look like they looked in the old one. So I think they did some de-aging shit on him.
Yeah, fucking Dr. Octopus looked great, and they really kind of upped the game with the Goblin. All right. I fucking love that character. With the old Tobey Maguire ones. Fucking William Dafoe.
He is the best villain.
The Goblin coming, he's fucking quoting Nietzsche and being fucking crazy on his fucking super soldier fucking serum and shit. And, because I remember him back when I was watching the cartoon as a kid, Spider-Man. And they would show the fucking Goblin, and he was basically just riding around on a damn fucking Electrolux vacuum cleaner with fucking wings and shit. Yeah, the little fucking pump coming out the back.
On a Roomba.
Yeah, and they got him hooked up like they had him back in the cartoon, where he had armor on. It had the armor that but he ditched the mask. He didn't have that. He fucking punched it and cracked it. And because he was sick of that mask. Instead, he had this he put on this purple cloak. It was all just torn, and it just had a hood, and it looked just like he looked in the old fucking comic books, flying around on that damn vacuum cleaner. It's what it looked like to me.
Hoovering around the place,
cleaner, fucking throwing the damn smoke bombs and fucking this poisonous gas and shit. And it was just. It was a great movie. And it was, I think, the great thing about it is that it was just real fun. Fun.
And it was fun. And it was action packed. It
made sense.
Yeah,
it wasn't crazy. It made sense.
You know what's kind of crazy? When I was kind of reading a little bit about this, because like I said, I've seen some of the MCU movies, but not all of them. Yeah. So I'm not we did see the Spider-Man movie before this one, which was Far From Home, right? We saw that in the theater, and I remembered enough of it that I remembered all the shit with Mysterio and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, so this one picks up exactly where that one stopped, right after that one.
And I didn't remember much of that movie, I'll be honest. I don't remember much about it.
Yeah, I didn't remember a great deal about it, but I remembered enough about it to pick up everything that I kind of knew. But like I said, some of the Spider-Mans I didn't, because there's 40 bajillion Spider-Man movies, because it's been rebooted so many times, so I couldn't remember a lot of stuff. But so I will say that if you haven't seen the other Spider-Man movies, you probably should before you see this one, but you don't necessarily have to.
Yeah, I'd only seen about half of them, but it's still, I saw enough of them to understand the characters. I saw the Tobey Maguire ones, which I liked those. And if you saw the Tobey Maguire ones, that's actually enough. It's actually enough to appreciate this movie, because this can actually be a standalone. I'm watching it and I'm going, man, you know what? This is basically kind of like a retelling in a way of Into the Spider-Verse. It was.
Yeah, and
it's very much like that.
Yeah, I saw some other reviewers that say that it was kind of like a live action Into the Spider-Verse. I mean, it's similar to
and
that.
I think that was a good move because Into the Spider-Verse was a really good animated feature.
I loved Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
That was like really, really good.
Yeah.
That was so fun.
In any kind of superhero, I don't like MCU movies. I don't like.
Yeah, like I said, they just seem. Most of them just seem very like they're good, but they're just kind of blah.
They're just kind of blah.
But this one was like super fun.
Yeah.
This one was like super entertaining.
Out of the superhero movies, I like the classics. Classic Superman. I like the Tobey Maguire ones. I liked the good Batman movies. You know which ones I'm talking about. There were some bad ones too. Fucking Batman and Robin and shit.
Yeah, everybody hates that one.
Okay. I really like Shazam. I love Shazam. I thought, and I liked some of the DC ones. Venom. That's Marvel, I think.
Because Venom turns up because Eddie Brock
turns up in this.
Turns up at the end of this
one.
At
the end of this, right? Yeah. And then what was the other one? Aquaman. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was DC.
There's something about the DC universe. I know it's kind of hit or miss. Some of them are not really as good as the other ones. But when it came to Shazam, there's like a playfulness to it that I liked. I just had fun with it. You know what I mean? Because it's superheroes. You're not really supposed to take the shit seriously unless it's Batman. And I haven't seen the new Batman. It's supposed to be kind of like a noir detective flick. I think it's going to be good. Well, they said it was good, but I'll probably like it when I see it. And they say that the Joker's making a comeback. That there's going to be a second part of Joker. With the one with Joaquin Phoenix. They say that's coming back. I don't know if it's true, but I heard that recently. So that one was real good. But we'll see. This one I kind of put this one up there with Into the Spider-Verse and Shazam. Not as silly as Shazam, but as fun as Shazam.
Yeah, it was just real fun. I mean, we just like had a couple cocktails and we were just sitting there. I'm like, wow, this is like actually really entertaining. Yeah. Like the whole, just all of it was entertaining.
I want to see Black Adam. That's going to come, man. If you guys haven't seen The Rock, man, he's eating 8,000 calories a day. He's fucking huge. Getting ready, he's fucking huge now. Or at least to do that Black Adam character. And he looks fucking big, man. Bigger than he normally does. We'll see.
What I was going to say, though, is that the funny thing about this when I was doing research into this movie was that the whole multiverse thing, that actually wasn't their original idea. They were just going to go ahead and, like, do the thing. But then, like, the writers, it's the same guys that wrote and directed the first two. Yeah. They were like, what if we did something like It's a Wonderful Life? Yeah. And they were like, hey, that's kind of a cool idea. And they're like, okay, well, why don't we bring Doctor Strange in and then we could introduce the whole multiverse thing. And they actually were just going to bring back the other characters just kind of like as fan service, just like a tease. But then they're like, fuck it, let's like make the whole plot around that before they even asked any of the actors involved, like if they would be in the movie. Yeah. So, but luckily everybody did come back and it all worked out and everything. But I was just kind of like, that's not actually what they intended, I guess. Like when they first started like working on the movie. But it was a great idea because it really like opened some shit up and it's fan service, but. It's fun. So it was fun.
Sly's talking about the Amazing Spider-Man TV series. That was terrible. You talking about the old live-action TV series? Yeah, it was. But I liked the kids cartoon from I think it was late '60s or early '70s. I saw it in the early mid '70s, I think, when I was a kid. It was when Spider-Man does whatever. I can remember that shit. And there was some of the visuals out of Spider-Man right out of the comic book in that television in the cartoon series. I liked it. I mean, all right, if you watch it now, it's probably fucking terrible as an adult, but as a kid, it was spot on. I liked it.
Danny Rowling said, Tom Holland's not a bad Spider-Man, but Marissa Tomei is Aunt May. Yeah, right, she's not old enough. Although I will say that Marissa Tomei is older than she looks.
Yeah, I think she's probably pushing 55.
She's got to be, because to be honest with you, and I think I said this to you last night, I was like, man, Marissa Tomei doesn't look any different than she did in the fucking 1980s.
Yeah, well, what they did was...
She doesn't look much older than she looked like in My Cousin Vinny, and when the fuck was that, 1987? Jesus
Christ.
They
did was they went into that fucking multiverse thing. That one Aunt May. There are other Aunt Mays, there are other MJs, there's other Spider-Mans, and they're in this movie, just like in the Spider-Verse. And some of them, Uncle Ben die and tell them about fucking great with great power there comes great responsibility. But in this one, it was Aunt May that said that.
That said that, yeah.
There was no Uncle Ben. So things are different in each one of those universes. And Into the Spider-Verse, and it was all animated. It was in an animated universe. You had Miles Morales was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then there were other Spider-Men. Spider-Man Noir was a detective back in the 40s in a black and white comic book. All right, and he's in it. And then there's a Spider-Gwen. Actually, was one of my favorite characters out of Into the Spider-Verse. I thought that was a good character.
Yeah.
Spider-Gwen. We was a female ballerina who was bitten by the spider. It was a cool costume. She had a little hoodie on and stuff. And then there was another one. What was another one? Oh, they had the one that was an anime girl in the damn spider mecha.
In the spider mecha, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one too. This little round ball with spider legs on it. And it was about the size. Wasn't even. It's like you had to fold up to get in it. Yeah. It was a little spider mecha. So there's a bunch of different ways.
And like I said, Spider-Ham.
Spider-Ham.
Who looked like a little Porky Pig.
Porky Pig, basically. Porky Pig.
Like a little Porky Pig, but Spider-Man.
Yeah, so some of them are comedic characters and stuff can be Spider-Man. It just depends on what universe they come from and out of the multiverse, which that's a cool concept. That means you can have movies about any kind of Spider-Man that's in the multiverse, and they're all recognizing one another. In this movie, some of the fucking multiverse Spider-Mans now know each other, but I think they were forced to forget, weren't they?
Because at the end they actually did succeed in the spell.
Yeah, to get it all straight.
To like forget. So I thought though that like when he first went to Doctor Strange and asked, I thought he was only asking, make them forget that I'm Spider-Man, but after the spell got fucked up and everything like that, like when they got to the end, it somehow got to, maybe I like misunderstood, but somehow it got to, no, they have to forget that they know you. You know what I mean? So pretty much like everybody forgets who, like everybody that he knew before and stuff like that, like doesn't know who the fuck he is now. So yeah, there was that, but he like had to do that like to save everybody. So, but yeah, I agree that like introducing the whole multiverse concept, especially to something like Spider-Man that has had so many different iterations and so many reboots and stuff like that. Right. So you can really play with all this different stuff like, oh, well, all the movies, it was all different actors and all different shit happened, but it's like that was just in a slightly different universe and they're all kind of interconnected. You
don't have to worry about continuity as much because they're happening in parallel universes.
Right. So that's like a really
good way
genius
of writing your way out of the problem.
Sure.
You'd make that part of the story.
And especially for something as sprawling, like as the MCU, or the Marvel movies, because there have been so many, and they do, I mean, the cycles that they've had lately, they do seem to try to maintain all the continuity. I don't know who the fuck has to keep track of all that stuff, but bless them, because I don't know. Holy shit. They must have, like, fucking just spreadsheets and, like, fucking boards and, like, red string and all this shit going everywhere. I couldn't keep track of all that shit, to be honest with you, but maybe they just have like little modules where everybody keeps track. But there's so much like overlap that somebody's got to keep track of all that stuff.
Now they're saying the Jamie Foxx Electro one, that was from the same one that had the Sandman in it. So I've seen it. I've seen it, I just didn't remember.
Yeah, because Sandman was in this too.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I haven't seen those in a long time.
Yeah.
That other Spider-Man, I'd never seen that guy. That's from another little...
He was from, the 2012 and 2014 one. Like I said, it was supposed to be a trilogy, but they never made the third one.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, like he's familiar. Like I'd seen him in other things, but I didn't
seen those two movies. Yeah.
But I didn't see. He's a British actor too.
Is he?
Isn't that crazy?
Well, they can act,
and they can do American accents. Yeah. Well, I was like Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch. He does an American accent in this.
There aren't very many good drama schools in the United States. To get in a Hollywood movie is just how much who you gonna blow. Yes.
Actually, I don't know if Andrew Garfield is British. I think he was born in the United States, but then he moved to the UK and studied over there.
Yeah.
So maybe he doesn't have a British accent. I'm not really sure. Like I said, I've seen him in other things, but I didn't see his Spider-Man movies. Right. And I think I saw the Tobey Maguire ones. Yeah, I did see the Tobey Maguire ones, but that was like a really, really long time ago. So I didn't like really remember a lot of stuff. Oh, and the Lizard was in this too.
Yeah.
The Lizard.
Yeah, I don't remember what movie that came from.
Yeah, that might have been the same. I don't know now. Yeah, now I can't remember. He seemed to know Electro, right? So they must have been from the same. That must have been the same universe,
right?
I don't know if they had anybody from the Andrew Garfield ones because I don't know like what villains he fought like in his.
He
movies.
said that he fought some Russian guy on a damn.
Oh, that's right.
On a robot.
It's like you guys have cooler villains than
rhinoceros on a robot.
That's right.
I don't know what he was talking about.
Well, we meant to look that up because I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was talking about how much cooler like the villains were, and then like Tom Holland's Spider-Man was being like he fought with the Avengers and he went to space and they were like, what? No,
what's
shit.
an Avenger? Yeah.
They didn't know what the Avengers were, and they were like, ooh, badass, he went to space and all this other kind of stuff.
They were like, is that a band? Yeah. So
because in that universe it doesn't exist. Yeah.
So the writing, really the main part of this has good special effects. The acting the main thing was the writing. The writing was really good. The story was really good. That's why this one shines. Real good tone. Just fun and adventure, and crazy shit happens, but it all makes sense.
I mean that sequence with Doctor Strange doing all like where Spider-Man like traps him in the mirror universe or whatever, that looks super cool. I really liked that a lot.
So the whole movie kind of ends up being like a Spider-Man greatest hits.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's got all the best characters, live action characters from Spider-Man in it. So Goblin comes back, William Dafoe, Goblin comes back, the fucking Dr. Octopus is back, Sandman, Electro, the Lizard guy's in there, Doctor Strange is in there, and then at the end Venom's in there. Venom's in Florida at the bar, getting drunk, fighting with himself, and fucks over the over the bartender. He's got his Hawaiian shirt on, trying to run from New York. Yeah, like they do.
I did like the Venom movies.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Hardy. He's a national treasure.
Yeah, so Venom's running around here somewhere.
Yeah, so, I think that'll be really good. But and it actually made me want to see the Doctor Strange movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right, yeah, I gotta see the Doctor Strange.
Now, at what point, I think we're just on the second one, too. I think there was a Doctor Strange, and then there's the one that just came out.
Yeah,
like the Multiverse of Madness or whatever. I think that might still be in the theater.
Yeah.
It was playing it just started like the last time we went to the theater.
Yeah.
Marissa Tomei made her debut in Toxic Avenger of all things, says Strawdog78. Yeah, that's right. She should have been in The Sopranos, yeah. No on the Sandman Electro. Sandman was in Spider-Man 3 and Electro was in Amazing Spider-Man 1 or 2. Okay, so Electro was in the ones we didn't see.
Okay, all right.
Lizard was in the first Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay.
Danny Rowling said, I kind of hate that the modern Spider-Man has a mechanical suit given to him by Iron Man, which is kind of cheating in my eyes.
They took it away from him.
Yeah, he did get it taken away.
He got it taken away from him. He loses it.
Mr. 88 says the robot Rhino was introduced at the very end of Amazing Spider-Man 2 and was supposed to be the villain in Amazing Spider-Man 3, which they didn't make. Okay.
Yeah, at the end of the movie, he's the suit's gone. He's just he's back to his old red and blue fucking leotard type thing.
Yeah.
He's back to that, to the classic look, which that's the way he should look, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I kind of feel like everybody would be more into that. Yeah, so, having Iron Man technology, like you said, it does seem kind of cheating, because it seems like Iron Man technology can do, like, pretty much everything.
Yeah, you'd be unbeatable.
Yeah, it's like, what do they call that on TV tropes? Whatever technology?
Yeah.
Where it's just kind of like whatever you need it to do, and it's like, oh, it'll do that, you know?
Now, this is what's going to happen, if y'all know the lore. I know it in general, but I don't know, I didn't read all that shit, you know what I mean? I know the shit I had to do. If Venom is in Florida, it's only a matter of time before Spider-Man gets infected with Venom. Because that happens in the comic books.
I mean, I kind of feel like, in the little bit, I'm talking about this movie because I assume that everybody that wanted to see it that's into Marvel has already seen it, so I don't give a shit if I spoil it or not.
Yeah.
It's not like it just came out. It was like last year.
They all know.
But so at the very end with Eddie Brock, and he leaves a little bit of the Venom goo on the bar. Did you notice that? And it was like, brrr. So that's gonna like come into play later
Peter
on.
Parker's gonna come in there and he's gonna it's gonna get into some. It's gonna eventually end up inside Parker.
Yeah, because that happens in the comics, right?
Yeah. Fucking Peter Parker gets affected with it, and they're a symbiote for a while. And in the comic books, that was for like a long while.
Yeah, I seem to vaguely remember that. Like I said, I'm not real big on like reading the comics, but I do remember being in comic stores and seeing stuff on the cover.
He fights it for a while, and then eventually it gets into him. I think it started off as a suit, or he thought it was a suit or something. I don't remember exactly how it was. It was a black Spider-Man suit, and then over time it took him over, and it was Venom. But I don't remember exactly how it happened. It was a long time ago.
Tammy said Bruce Campbell should have been in it. He was in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. Yeah, that would have been cool. Maybe they couldn't get him.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have turned up in there. Why not? Mr. 88 said, by the way, decidedly not a Marvel fan, but just recently watched most of these with my sons. Okay, that's fair enough. Well, like I said, I'm not shitting on Marvel. I don't hate them. It's just I don't usually. I've seen a bunch of the movies, but I don't usually feel the need to like rush out and see it, and I'm not real up on all the lore. Like I know enough of the lore to like enjoy the movies and pretty much know what's going on, but I'm not like one of those people that every time like a minor character walks through the background, they're like, "Oh shit, it's that person." You know what I mean? So I'm not like totally geeky about it.
Jenny and I kind of agree in general when it comes to Marvel. When you watch them, you have a good time watching them.
Yeah.
And then a few hours later, you've forgotten everything that you saw.
Yeah.
They're very temporary. They're not. Nothing really stays with you. They're not really story driven. It's more like visually driven. It's kind of like being at a ride at Disneyland, and then once it's over, you quickly kind of forget about what happened. They don't really stay with you. They're kind of shallow. They're not bad, but they're just kind of shallow.
I mean, when we saw this one, and I was like, well, I remembered that we had seen the one before this one, Far From Home, because I remember going to the theater and seeing it. But all I remembered about that movie was the end with Mysterio, like where he fought Mysterio. And I remembered that it's like, weren't they all like on a high school trip to Europe or something like that? Okay, so I remember that about it. But then when this movie started, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Everybody found out that Peter Parker was Spider-Man, and so that was what. But that's really kind of all you had to know, because that's literally all I remembered from the second movie.
If you're taking your kids to see Marvel, Matt, take them to see, show them Shazam. Fucking Shazam used to be on television. Sly probably remembers it. It used to be on television. We used to watch it all the time, man. It was a good series. You could probably watch it for free. But the movie Shazam that came out, I loved it. And the second one's coming up. Black Adam is coming up, and I think Shazam is in it. I know that in the Shazam universe, Shazam and Black Adam meet each other. They're both superheroes. I think they're good guys, but they're different. At least from what I remember. But no, he'd probably like Shazam. That's good. And that one's just more about magic. Superheroes that have magic. They're not even going to give you excuses like radiation, spiders, and shit like that. No, it's fucking magic. Alien magic. All right.
I mean, why not? Might as well.
Yeah.
Look at all the shit Doctor Strange can do. And he's basically just a fucking wizard.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Shazam was more on par with Ultraman, which is a Japanese fucking superhero. That was where the first time I saw these superheroes, it was the aliens gave this friendly Japanese man a fucking little baton. I always used to fucking steal the fucking thing out of the toilet paper dispenser as a little kid that holds the toilet paper roll. And take that thing. That was my fucking Ultraman.
That's so cute.
Yeah. And fucking he'd say some shit into that and get big.
He's talking into the toilet paper.
Yeah. And my mother'd be fucking, where's that fucking toilet paper? I'm out there turning into fucking Ultraman.
I'm turning into Ultraman, Mom. Goddamn.
Yeah. And first time I started watching that, he got big. I was like, oh man, this is a Godzilla movie. This is back in the 70s out in California. I was a kid, you know. Oh, it's like a Godzilla movie. And he's fighting all these alien monsters all the time. Ultraman. It is better than Superman. It is basically the story of Superman. All right, kind of. But he gets big. All right, that's how they top the American market. You know, our Superman gets big. He's not just Superman. He's fucking Ultraman. He's better than your shit. Okay, that's where they were coming with it. So
now we should counter with like Uber Ultraman.
Yeah. Well, Shazam was kind of like Ultraman, but he didn't get big. He just became an adult because he's a kid.
Yeah.
And he turned into an adult.
I kind of feel it's really weird because I kind of feel like a lot of those like Japanese movies, like superhero movies, they always have like a hero that can get big.
Yeah, well, they got to get big
because they have to fight like kaiju. I guess.
Giant. Yeah, they got to fight some giant shit.
We reviewed Big Man Japan, did we not?
Yeah, Big Man Japan.
If you guys have not seen the movie Big Man Japan,
get it.
Please watch it.
Yeah, Big Man Japan. It's like hilarious.
It's like a parody. It's almost like a mockumentary.
Yeah.
About a guy who is like a Japanese superhero who has to get big.
Yeah.
To fight.
He calls
monsters.
it getting big and everything. I gotta get big.
Yeah.
And he's unemployed and shit.
It is so awesome. I love that. It's just like so fucking funny. The whole premise is so funny to me.
Yeah.
Well, I think what makes it funny is that the premise is zany, but it's done like almost completely straight-faced.
Yeah.
Which makes it like 10 times funnier.
And when he gets big, he doesn't have a special suit. He's just like a big sumo wrestler.
Yeah.
Sumo wrestler in a fucking little loincloth.
Yeah.
Like the sumo wrestler.
And he's like lumbering through the town, like fighting all these crazy looking monsters.
Fucking funny as shit.
And it's about like a documentary crew like making a documentary about him.
Yeah.
Like it's supposed to be like top secret that he does this, and it's just oh my god, it's delightful. I fucking love that movie.
Yeah.
I think it's on Tubi actually for free. Might not be, but it was a while back.
Yeah. Now they're talking about how Spawn would. Now we're having fucking superhero fights and shit between characters that have magic or demonic powers, and then you have there's shit going on between Marvel and fucking Star Wars. Star Wars is shot, man. Star Wars is so fucked up. I don't think they'll ever be able to put that one back together. That's what happens when you put novice fucking directors and writers and shit onto a fucking old property that has a fucking legend and lore and fans. They're gonna go in there and fuck that shit up. There is some good Star Wars movies that were made, like Rogue One was good. First couple seasons of Mandalorian were pretty good.
Now, has anybody been watching the Obi-Wan series?
They say it's terrible.
Because I haven't really looked to see it.
They say it's terrible. Oh, they just say it's just nonsense. It's you know what I mean. They fucked that up. You have to control. You see, that was the good thing about Marvel, the MCU. They at least kept all the storylines straight, and they're in the Marvel canon. You know what I mean? But not Star Wars. Star Wars is fucking just all over the place. And evidently they did the same thing with fucking Star Trek. Like they say Star Trek's just fucking terrible. Star Trek Picard is supposed to suck. Now they're doing fucking the one with Pike, and some have said that that's pretty good. But I don't anyway, I'd get into that. I'm not gonna fucking pay $20 a month for CBS. I'm just fuck CBS. You know,
Stardog 78
I'll get that
says,
shit bootleg on fucking DVD, fucking when it's all over.
Says Popeye and Underdog were my first superheroes as a kid.
Yeah,
mine too, probably. Popeye. Now that I'm thinking about
Underdog, it was good.
Hey, Alea's in here. Hey, Alea's here.
Who's in here?
There's Alea.
Alea? Hey, what's up, Alea?
How are you doing?
Yeah.
Mr. 88 says Japanese have to get big. Sounds like phallic stereotype wish fulfillment. Yeah. That's why. Well, I don't know. That's why I thought that like Big Man Japan was so funny, because I'd seen like a lot of those old Japanese movies, and I'm like, they always have to have the hero that has to like, that has to like get really big, like to fight the monsters and stuff. Yeah. And so the fact that it's just like some schlubby fat guy that like lives in a trailer or some shit, and he's like, every time there's a monster, he's like, oh, I gotta go get big, you know.
Hey, Aaliyah, Aaliyah, you know it's Gene Loves Jezebel at Will's Pub this Friday coming up.
Yeah,
you might want to make that. Although you know what's his name's gonna be there. Nick's gonna be there. He's gonna be there. So you know.
Well, we're going. I already bought tickets.
I'm going. We got tickets.
I already bought tickets.
Yeah.
Actually, I should probably. Yeah. So the sidetrack show this week, we're gonna move the sidetrack show to Saturday, because we have to go to Will's Pub like early, because the show starts kind of early.
Yeah.
But I think, DJ Maniac was here earlier, and he said, like, some band that he knew was opening for them, but I don't think they're opening for them here. Here, I think it's Rose Garden Funeral Party is opening for them. So, yeah. So, are we done talking about Spider-Man?
Yeah. Sly's saying he liked Rogue One. Yeah, I liked Rogue One, too. And I thought the first, Force Awakens, I thought that was going to be something, but then the second one came out, I fall apart. And then the third one, I was like, oh, shit. And that was it. I was done with fucking Star Wars. I was like, no, they don't know what they're doing. No, Mandalorian came out, the first 2 seasons, it was good. It was good. But then, it's Disney, you know what I mean? Fucking, we know people that have worked for the Disney company and know their mentality. They're a fucked up company. They're not gonna, they can't do good Star Wars. They would resist it. They're gonna want to do it their way, and their way is gonna fucking suck. You know, and it doesn't sell toys. You know, only the good shit, the shit that I said is good, is selling toys. The shit that I said is bad is not selling any of the toys. So it's not just me. All right, I got a good taste in Star Wars. I know good Star Wars when I see it. Most of the shit Disney makes is Star Wars fan fiction. It just doesn't have an authentic feel to it. And that's the same thing with some of this Star Trek I've been seeing. You know, like, nah, I ain't Star Trek. There's no fucking sonar in space. There's no sound in space. Fucking. It's just because they got dumb people writing it. The original Star Trek had smart people, but they got dumb people writing it that don't know that sonar can't work in space because there's no sound in space. It's not some creativity shit or anything like that. It's not artistic license. No, they're dumb. And that has been confirmed by people around that writing crew. They're just dumb.
Mr. 88 says Marvel is Disney too. Yes, it is.
Yeah, but they got people that know the Marvel universe and who are doing it right. But they don't have that with Disney. Okay, the problem with fucking Star Wars is that they decided that none of the extended universe is canon, and they don't want to use it because they don't want to pay the royalties. Well, most of Star Wars is extended universe. All those books and games and shit like that the fans love. And as soon as they said, well, we're not going to use that, then they've just thrown most of the fucking fan base away. That's just how it is. You know. And because most of it was extended universe, and it was good. The extended universe was good, well written, so there was no reason to throw it away. Had they made movies about the extended universe, they'd have made a shit ton of money, but they didn't want to fucking spend the money on royalties. So fuck them.
Danny Rowling says, which film is better, the film Gacy, based on John Wayne Gacy, or the Spike Lee film Summer of Sam? Well,
I haven't seen either one of them.
Summer of Sam, I actually remember that being really good. I think I saw that in the theater, and then I think I saw it once afterward, and I remember really liking it. Gacy, I think I saw a long time ago, but I don't really remember anything about it. So I'm gonna say Summer of Sam, just on merits of, like, I remember it better. You know what I mean? So I'll say that. So tonight, did you actually want to watch the new Ghostbusters movie, like the Afterlife tonight?
Yeah, if you want to watch it, we can watch it.
Okay. And then tomorrow night, I want to go see the new David Cronenberg movie.
All right.
And then we can talk about that on Tuesday, because I was thinking about it last night, and I'm like, I bet that bitch fucking started, because I remember seeing the trailer and they said June sometime, and I said, well, it's middle of June. So I checked, and then they were like, yeah, it is playing, thankfully, at our theater, but that's the only showing. They're not doing any daytime showings. It's all at 9:55 p.m. So yeah, but I want to see that. But probably tonight we'll watch Ghostbusters Afterlife, unless we think of something else, like in the next couple hours. I don't really know. But yeah, so thanks for dropping by and hanging out with us, talking about Spider-Man today. And have a good rest of your weekend. And we'll see you guys again tomorrow evening. Bye.